All right, welcome back to ABC News Live Reports. It is day 11 into the Karen Reed murder retrial, and Reed stands accused of hitting her police officer boyfriend with her SUV before leaving him to die in a blizzard. The prosecution called on two witnesses, including Connor Keefe, a Massachusetts State Police trooper, and digital forensics expert Jessica Hyde. The testimony focusing on digital forensic evidence found at the crime scene where the body of John O'Keefe was found buried in the snow. Things got tense in the courtroom when the defense called for cross-examination of Hyde, suggesting pieces of her data are unreliable. Let's take a listen.
My point would be that's obviously going to be Your Honor's decision ultimately. But again, the Commonwealth can't have it both ways. They're the ones who are triggering this issue, and I say triggering in a legal sense. They are putting at issue the 227 timestamp with this issue, with this witness. If they weren't doing that, I wouldn't be having this discussion at all. But they're putting it at issue. I have the right, respectfully, to cross-examine on the issue that they're putting in issue.
All right, Karen Reed faces second-degree murder among other charges, and she maintains that she's innocent, and her lawyers argue she's being framed. At ABC News' Phil Lipoff joins me now and set to discuss this story right here more. And let's talk about Jessica Hyde and her testimony. Hyde testified over the infamous Google search, "How long to die in the cold?" Now, she is the digital forensics expert. We just talked about that. Why is her testimony so important in this case?
Well, it's so important, and it's also why there was that dust-up. The defense wanted to question her about that 227. So just a quick reminder, Jen McCabe, who was with Karen Reed when they found the body the next morning, says Jen McCabe asked her to search how long does it take to die in the snow once they found his body. But the defense is saying there was that search at 2:27 in the morning, which would have been hours before they found her body, which points to someone other than Karen Reed. That's why this is so important. But what the digital expert said, and this is news to me, is when you open up a tab to search on your phone, it's open. And so if you search for something 5-6 hours later, it'll show that it's searched when you open the tab. That's what the digital expert is saying about the 227. Defense is saying,
especially if you don't clear the history.
Absolutely. And you can't. And she also testified you can't delete a tab, you can clear it. So there's a lot of technical terms today, and it was really into the weeds, but the bottom line is the defense wants to prove that there was a search at 227 because it points to someone other than Karen Reed and gives reasonable doubt.
So what more else, or what else do we know about the jury's reaction to her testimony?
Well, they didn't take a lot of notes today. And I'll tell you, I was watching it and I was taking notes because it's so technical. They didn't take a lot of notes, but they're listening. I can just mention quickly, Karen Reed, we have a reporter in the courtroom from our station WCVB in Boston, and he's reporting that she is the most active at the desk. She's always shuffling papers. She's opening and closing her computer. She's turning to her lawyers, and she gets up when there's a break. She does not sit still, is what he's telling us. What that says, I don't know. I'm just a reporter. I'm not a legal analyst.
I was about to say, is it concerning for the defense or prosecution when you see jurors are not taking notes?
It's a really good question, DeMarco. I don't know. I just know there was a lot of technical talk today, and if they are going to sort through this, I would have taken notes today.
This is a fascinating case right here. All right,
yeah.
Phil, thank you very much. We appreciate it.